was like, whoa.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is presented by Underdog. If y'all are watching this episode right now, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. It's free. We're on the road to 1 million subscribers. It's real easy. So make sure y'all hit that button down below. If you're new to Underdog, today's the day. You guys can get $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play just $5 with code It Is What It Is. It's Boosttober, so there's daily promos all month long. Underdog is live in more than 30 states, including Georgia, Texas, and Missouri. So make sure y'all support the show, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mase and Cam.
Killa, what's
What's
good, man?
bro? How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. There's a lot going on, man.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
It's a lot of nothing going on,
There's
actually.
a lot of nothing going on.
Okay, well, we're going to start with your team that I think is your team still. I'm not really sure where you stand because it seems to change every week.
This
Things
does
that
not
happen.
change.
Okay, well, we'll see if you still stand by this team because the Jaguars pulled off a 31-28 win versus the Chiefs. So the Jaguars are actually tied with the Colts for first in the AFC South. So Mase, are you more impressed by the Jaguars win or more disappointed with the Chiefs loss?
I mean, this is a bittersweet moment, pause, for a lot of reasons, because, you know, this is Titletown. This is Titletown on the move, but then when you think about it, this is hometown, you know? This is homegrown, pause. I can't really be upset when you lose to the home team, you know? I don't even count this as a loss, Stat, so I see you trying to bring this my way because it's the Chiefs, but this is Jacksonville. You know I'm born in Jacksonville, right? You don't want to talk about it?
I don't know where I stand.
You don't know
You
where
say you're
you
born in
stand?
Jacksonville, but you rep the Chiefs, and then the other day you were talking about you was going to go with the Eagles too.
No, I was. I just
clarifying.
said that because Cam, you know, he made it his team, so I was trying to troll his team. But when
Your
you
team.
think about this game, right? I think besides that pick, they would win this game. You know, I don't think this is something that was just, you don't want to lose to Jacksonville, give it take, but I don't think they played that horrible. I think that this was one of those games they thought they won, but that pick was just, it's just like plays like that just break your heart when you think you're about to get a touchdown and somebody get the pick six and take it all the way back to the house. It's just really heartbreaking.
Hold on a second. Yo, Sin,
Yeah.
you on the show. What did I say Mace would say about this game, about the Chiefs losing? You live.
He's from Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I said this 2 hours ago. Thank you. I just wanted to let you know I was right. Thank you, brother. Hit you back. I told Sin this 2 hours ago. I said, all he gonna do is say he's from Jacksonville. I already knew this 2 hours ago.
Well, it's that, why you asked me this?
No, she didn't know. I said, I knew it in my brain. I know this nigga. I say, yo,
Yeah.
all he's gonna do is say he's from Jacksonville. I already know this. She's back under the 500, same record as Cincinnati. Hello. Nice to see y'all, man. Hello. And we don't have our starting quarterback.
Oh, man.
But look, I think this was really outstanding game. What I'm more surprised about is the penalties. The Chiefs, first of all, the Chiefs had some penalties that didn't get called on them. They had a lot of penalties that did get called on them. But I was very shocked at the fact that the Chiefs were getting called for penalties, especially on that last drive on the way down the field. Trevor Lawrence did an amazing job as well. But that drive he led down the field, it was two crucial penalties, especially at the goal line or inside the 5-yard line. And I was like, wow, the refs are really motherfucking calling penalties against the Chiefs, because it looked like it was going the other way. It looked like Patrick Mahomes was going to do Patrick Mahomes shit, bring them back, and then he's going to win by a field goal. But one thing that happened also was this. After Kansas City went up by 3 points. The fucking kicker kicked it out of bounds, and then the Jaguars get to start on the 40-yard line. Starting the 40-yard line with a minute and 45 seconds left, and I can't front. Trevor Lawrence looked like he was worth the $275 million that he signed for. Also, when he did.
Now you believe in Trevor again.
Did you see the last drive up the field, or you on the chat? Did you see what happened the last?
I'm just asking you, are you now a believer?
I believed in him. I didn't say I'm a believer. I seen him run the niggas up the floor last night against Patrick Mahomes, the great Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was doing great shit. I ain't gonna lie. There was times he was scrambling. I thought he was down. He did some amazing shit. But that's the way it goes. If your quarterback leads you up the field for a winning drive, yeah, he looked good. And not only that, the Jaguars are 4-1. They look good this season. Shout out to Travis Hunter, too. Travis Hunter, he made the over. It was 27 yards last night. What did he go for, 67? 64. Yeah, 64 yards. Underdog, Cole Cam is back. This is what I was trying to tell you. But not just on offense, he also played really good on defense. And, you know, that was a big issue for him coming into the NFL. Could he play both sides of the ball? Could he play offense? Could he play defense? He sure as hell did it yesterday. Definitely interrupted a couple of Patrick Mahomes' deep bombs that he was trying to throw when he's trying to lead the Chiefs to come back. So Travis Hunter looked amazing on offense and amazing on defense. And I'm not going to go as far as Mase is right. I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence arrived, but he definitely won last night. And that's one of them signature wins to build your confidence up, to be like, okay, cool. I had a leading drive down the field under 2 minutes to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know, you don't just say Kansas City Chiefs. You might say Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs. So I do want to give my hats off to Jacksonville, because not just giving it to them. It was a good game. If you watch the game, it was a really, really entertaining game to watch, man.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a page out of Michael Irvin's book, you know. This is one of those games you lose, but it was a victory, you know. I'm going to take this as a victory. Because if he doesn't throw that pick six, we win. So I got to take a page out of Michael Irvin's book. We'd have won by like 4, so I don't look at this as that much of a it was a freak accident, you know, just the interception.
What quarter did that happen in?
Huh?
What quarter did that happen in?
I think it was like the third quarter.
You had a whole quarter and a half to win the game. Actually, you took the lead after that interception.
I know, but I'm just doing numbers. You know, Cam, I only go by numbers. You know, you take away that 7, we win by at least 4 points.
Yeah, let's do numbers. I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs have ever lost when they were up 14 points. They let them come back. A 21-0 run by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And not only that, they end up winning the game. But I'm not mad at the Michael Irvin thing. If that's what we're doing this season up here, it's a lot of that going on. It's an anomaly, you know, and everything else.
Niggas is so low vibration. I figure, you know, ain't no need of me being too high, you know.
I hear you, but at the end of the day, Kansas City Chiefs are 2-3, so are the Cincinnati Bengals. And we don't even have Joe Burrow. I don't know what Kansas City excuse is. They ain't have Pacheco. But Joe Burrow, Pacheco. Like, it's crazy. But I'm happy for Jacksonville, because they've been struggling for a long time, and it looked like they're on the way to do something. The two teams that surprised me this far is the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So far, big surprise.
I'm giving all this credit to Travis Hunter.
Why?
Because I feel like he's making that team better. It's something about when you get people on the team that really want to play, and, you know, he's married, he's focused. So shout out to Travis Hunter.
Married and focused. I'll add, actually, I give a lot of credit to Trevor Lawrence, because I feel like the team as a whole, first of all, they capitalized a lot off of their mistakes. And even towards the end of fourth quarter, the score was tied. So, like, the Chiefs really could have honed it in at that point. But we saw that last play where Trevor Lawrence literally tripped off of their center, and he was still able to go to the end zone and score a touchdown. For his stats, basically for the whole game, he had 18 of 25 passes for 221 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but also led Jacksonville with 54 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns on 10 carries. So, yes, Travis Hunter also makes a big impact, and Travis Etienne Jr., a lot of their other players, but Trevor Lawrence definitely sealed this game for them. And the Chiefs, I don't know what they're gonna do.
That's a good point because his center stepped on his foot. He tripped up and still got in the end zone. But that was a great point, Stat. Like, yeah, they look really good.
And you know, Patrick Mahomes was 318, so I that's why I'm not worried. The numbers are still high.
Then, according to you, let's go back to numbers. The first quarterback with 225 yards wins the game. Trevor Lawrence didn't have 225 yards.
It's home, Cam.
I understand. I'm just
It's a
going by.
home
We
thing.
said you
This
said we
is a
doing
home
you said
thing.
we doing numbers.
We got to mark all this up to home.
So I want to ask you this now that you say that about the Chiefs, because you're still giving Patrick Mahomes his credit, and I don't think that he should be discredited. But do you still have faith in the Chiefs at this point, or is that starting to dwindle away after seeing how they've been playing this season so far?
Start to dwindle?
Yeah.
I mean, it was back last week, but I don't know about this week. I'm trying to stay faithful, but it's a home team, so it's like kind of weird to think about. It's almost like when you see somebody that is a great, but they lost to somebody you feel like it's justifiable. You're not as hurt as if they lost to somebody else.
Yeah, I think I'm going to still give Kansas City, definitely not counting them out. Just because division, I was sitting there saying that the Chargers look like this year they could take the division, but they're not consistent to me. I like Harbaugh a lot. You know, I'm a big Justin Herbert fan, but it's like something about them that spells inconsistencies for me. Denver is a team that looks like maybe in a year or two, they may give the Chiefs some problems, but I don't think it's this year. You know, Sean Payton, great coach. Bo Nix, second year in the league, looked really decent last year. Looked like he's getting even better this year. But I don't think they're ready to overthrow the Chiefs. Only team in that division, I would have said the Chargers, but the last couple of weeks, the Chargers have been scaring me as far as their inconsistency. So, no, I'm definitely not counting out the Kansas City Chiefs just on the division alone.
Yeah, but I do believe they're starting to show not just wear and tear, but they're starting to show, like, you know, when a team, I don't know which team that was, maybe it was like the Cleveland Cavaliers when they had LeBron, or one of those teams that felt like they could do just enough, Golden State, just to get in the playoffs. And then when they get to the playoffs, they're going to turn it on. I think when teams play like that, it just never works out. That's what I'm kind of sensing from the Kansas City Chiefs. And I want to stay, you know, faithful to them, but that's what they're starting to show. Like, we got the cachet. We know what to do when the time comes, but I don't think you develop a kind of bad habit and a bad rhythm and then it turns out well. It just never works that way.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to some of Sunday night's football games. So the Texans beat the Ravens 44-10. So, Mase, do you think for Baltimore, can Cooper Rush ever be the answer as long as Lamar Jackson is out with his injury?
No. I'm not gonna go for that. I'm not gonna follow the bandwagon of what Cam did with Browning and then turn around and we out here looking crazy. So I think it's over for Baltimore. I hate to say it. This is a team that I knew they always underachieve, but something about now is like they're really underachieving, and I don't think it's gonna be a turnaround no time soon. I think this is gonna be one of those seasons where they just have to start back over next year. I don't see them getting to even 9 games. I don't see them winning 9 games.
Yeah, as far as the game was concerned on Sunday, well, answer your question, no, I don't think he's the answer for Baltimore. Baltimore has lost their identity on defense. And over the years, that's what we've known Baltimore for their defense.
Yeah.
Over the years. And if you're letting people, you know, it's one thing having Lamar Jackson not playing, and it's another thing letting niggas score 40 on you. The last 4 games, they've scored 30 or more points. The teams Baltimore playing have scored 30 more points on Baltimore. Now, Baltimore had a bunch of injuries. You got to think about this. They have 4 Pro Bowl players that wasn't playing. So we're not just talking about, excuse me, we're not just talking about Lamar Jackson not playing. We're talking about, I mean, I have to list the people, but they got 4 Pro Bowl players that's not playing. So the salary cap is $280 million. $160 million of the salary cap was on the sideline. And we can't just brush that off. My whole thing is when it comes to this, when it comes to football, basketball, whatever other sport. We always come up with these things, and, even with the Browning situation, which I was actually serious about. We say, oh, he's the backup. Oh, this person's hurt, or this person isn't there. You're in the NFL or the NBA or whatever professional sports you're in for a reason, whether you're a backup, whether you're off the bench, whatever the case is, they picked you for a reason. So when somebody's not available, it can't be that much of a drop-off in between players if you're a professional. We see with Browning, the big drop-off between him and Joe Burrow. It should not be that much of a drop-off in between Joe Burrow and Browning. You see the drop-off between Lamar and Cooper. You see this. You're still professional athletes, and you have to show up for work. This is not only that, this is an opportunity for you to get another job. But the distance, when people are hurt, as from the superstars to the backups, the disparity is alarming. It's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? And I just think that backups should take their jobs more seriously. Not saying that they don't, because a bunch of things could attribute to it. Nervous under the lights, can't handle the pressure, but that's all part of being a professional. You're a professional for a reason. And on the other side of football, this is a momentum game for Texans. Texans have not been looking good. C.J. Stroud played really well. This is one of these situations where you can be like, okay, this is the type of victory that we needed to get our mojo back. And now they may get into a rhythm on Baltimore's dime. I thought it was kind of a revenge game. If everybody remembers last year on Christmas on Netflix, Baltimore beat the shit out the Texans. I think it was 31-2. I remember Houston had 2, and it was crazy. So congratulations to Houston and Baltimore. We know we had a lot of Pro Bowl players that were not playing in that game, but this is no excuse, and I don't like it throughout sports, period. The disparity between the stars and the backups is just outlandish. You might as well get somebody off the street.
Yeah, the first 4 or 5. What is this? Their 5th game. They're what was the number? I think it's like 177 that they've let teams score on them. That's the total amount of points, and that's just ridiculous. But I don't know if you really count this game as a bounce back game or a revenge game if you don't have Lamar out there. Do you really count that, Killa?
See, the thing is, this is what I was arguing with Michael Irvin about. When you go to your record and it says 6 wins and 3 losses, whatever, it don't say 6 wins, week 5, Lamar Jackson wasn't playing, so therefore this shouldn't really be a win. It just say the win. I understand where you're coming from. I say that too because it may pay off, not benefit you down the line for playing an extraordinary team and you be like, you got that chip win. But every win in the NFL counts. See, I was having this argument with the nigga son, which we always arguing about. Basketball is a little different because if you lose in basketball, you have tomorrow or the day after to get it back. It's 82 games.
Mm-hmm.
Every game in football kind of counts. That's what Michael Irvin was saying. 0-3 is the danger zone because you only have 17 weeks. It's not an every other day sport or a back-to-back game sport. 17 games, 17 weeks, every game counts. So once you make it to the playoffs, even that, fighting not to be in the wild card, fighting to get home field advantage, all these games count, whether Lamar Jackson's playing, whether Joe Burrow's playing, every game counts. And, back to the shit we always talk about, best ability is availability. If they're not available, it doesn't look good. Not only that, Derrick Henry's not looking like he looked last year, even though congrats to him. I think he went to number 5 on the leading rushers of all time list, passing Walter Payton, if I'm not mistaken. The fans eat me out if I remember correctly. But their whole identity this season has not looked good. And to be honest with you, I don't know. Baltimore didn't start off good last year, but it's one of them situations like, whatever, we're not worried about the people in the division. It was Pittsburgh's bye week stat.
Yeah.
So we don't know how Pittsburgh's going to look. Pittsburgh has not been looking that bad. They're not looking terrible, and they're not looking the best, but they actually are leading in the division. And if you give somebody like Aaron Rodgers, great football mind, and you give somebody like Mike Tomlin, great football mind, to sit down and figure this shit the fuck out, Baltimore will be out the door before you know it, if the Pittsburgh Steelers stay on the stride they're in right now.
And I will say, hopefully we do, because we continuously say on this show the best ability is availability. And given the other quarterbacks, it's the truth. Given the other quarterbacks in our division, Aaron Rodgers is in the best position because he also hasn't been hurt. So we got to use that to our advantage.
Listen what you got. Listen what, look at, you're 100% correct, Stat. No Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, and you got the backup in Dylan Gabriel, and you're 100% correct. I can't even disagree with you. You got the best situation quarterback-wise, health-wise in the division.
So if you don't win it, is it a complete bust? Since nobody was there to
I don't think it's a complete bust because in general, I feel like it's been a weird couple of weeks in football in general because even the fact that now we no longer have any undefeated teams after this past weekend, we've seen a lot of losses that we didn't expect. And we also always say anything can happen on any given Sunday. And I think that we're seeing that as these teams progress. But I just think it's I'm not going to say that unfortunate because I'm happy, but Baltimore is in a weird situation because they're used to being winners. And then with, Lamar Jackson being out, then them having to look at Cooper Rush, who they know can't get the job done for them. And then now they're tied with the Browns for last in the AFC North. Like nobody expected them to be in this position that they're in now. And the bigger hole they keep digging, it's only going to get worse for them unless they pick it back up. And they're saying Lamar's supposed to return. At this point now, it should be the next 2 weeks. But that's still not completely confirmed. We have to see if that will happen. So they keep letting weeks go by. And like Cam is always saying, every game does count because you don't look on the stat sheet and say, well, this quarterback was out. We just don't really know what's going to happen for them. So,
and I don't know what you said. Let's say it takes 2 weeks or 3 weeks for him to come back. It's going to get to a point where he may not come back just to heal up. Let's say, for instance, he doesn't come back the next 2 games. They're 1-6. Now you have to look at the scenario where you're saying, damn, are we, even if he comes back and we lose, and we win all our games, will we make the playoffs? Should we just sit this nigga the whole season to make sure he's 100% for next season? Because if you ask my opinion, if they go 1-6 or 1-7 without him, I don't think we'll see Lamar Jackson the rest of the season.
I'll actually agree with you on this one because the same thing you said about the Browns and their quarterback situation, that is exactly what happened because sometimes people make decisions that I don't understand, but it makes sense to the organization. So we'll see what happens. Because you think about it,
not to cut you off, right? So you think about it, right? I'm looking at the record here. They're 1-4. Let's say he doesn't play the next 2 games and they lose, if they lose. So you got 1-6, right? So now you got 10 games left. For them to make the playoffs, they would probably have to win all 11 games, which even with Lamar Jackson, that's a tall task to ask, all 10 games, because there would be 10 games left for them to win or make the playoffs. Do you want to put him out there and risk more injury, knowing you're not going to make the playoffs? If your organization, he's still young, you still have a lot of time, you may not want to put him out there and help and make him get injured more. Now, if it's a chance for them to make the playoffs, I think they definitely going to put him out there without a child of doubt. Niggas, that's all you need, a chance in the playoffs. Football is 1 game. It's not a series. So if they have a chance to make the playoffs, cool. If he don't come back and they 1-6, 1-7, you got to think about it. I don't know if I want that nigga out there mess us up. Let this nigga sit out until next season, even though I know he didn't want to do that. He's a competitor. But we got to think about our franchise quarterback future.
Yeah. Very, very good point. And then just real quick to talk about the Texans side, just for CJ Stroud in general, this is the best football we've seen him play in a long time. So also to your point, hopefully he can kind of keep that momentum going because they need him to feel the best that he can. Because, I mean, we talked about that quote in our last episode where he's feeling like he's getting old. And it's like, that's also not something you want to hear. I thought about it. I'm like, okay, even though I understand maybe some things you shouldn't say at the press conference, I get it. So
yeah, like maybe like, yo, I'm tired.
Yeah. This is certain things.
And get sat down
yeah.
and lose your starting job because you're tired.
Yeah, it never goes well. But maybe this win was the pick-me-up he needed because he had 4 touchdowns. He played exceptionally well. So I'm not going to go as to saying the Texans are back, but we're seeing some good strides from them. So hopefully this continues. Okay, so this next game, we're actually going to backtrack to the Thursday Night Football game last week. So the 49ers beat the Rams 26-23 in overtime. The 49ers are 4-1. Mase, how legit do you think the 49ers are? Are they legit?
Even with the 49ers winning, I'm not really sold on them. Sometimes it's how you win. And I look at them as like they're definitely pulling the games off. But I don't think like they're putting that fear in teams. Just like when I think about Kansas City, as a team that I really really like. I just think like people are not fearful of Kansas City. And when I'm looking at San Francisco, I'm thinking the same thing. Like, even though they're winning these games, I'm not ready to say they win if it comes down to like the playoffs or something like that. Now you gotta love this because Purdy is out and you watch your Mac Jones come in and step in and do a phenomenal job. So that's a great upside, but I'm still just not convinced. So that for me, that's where I stand.
It's the division. Looking at the division again, you know.
But a great game. Both quarterbacks did their thing.
Yeah, I'm looking as far as believing in the 49ers. It's a hard question because think about this. I'm looking at the division. Arizona, I'm not thinking about Arizona. They're very inconsistent. Seattle, Sam Darnold looked really good on Sunday. He looked really, really good. Heartbreaking loss for them, but he looked really good. And the Rams are also good. But San Francisco's at the top of the division. The one thing that I worry about for San Francisco, I would say I would believe in them, but what they're going to have is a real dilemma, and I think Kyle Shanahan will know how to handle it. And I think Brock Purdy knows this because this is how he got his money and his job, with somebody being hurt. And what happened is he was playing at the beginning of the season. He got hurt. Mac Jones came in, started playing good, got them 2 victories. And then Brock Purdy rushed back like, hold up, nigga ain't taking my spot. And then Brock Purdy got hurt again. Mac Jones steps in, gets 342 yards passing, and gets the victory. So now I don't know Brock Purdy's timeline on coming back, but what do you do if you're Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah.
Do you sit there and say, we got chemistry? Because Mac Jones is 3-0 this year. Whether you like it or not, he's 3-0. And when you have the chemistry going with the team, whether you're a superstar or not, sometimes it's based upon chemistry. No, that's how Kaepernick got his job. Alex Smith got hurt, same organization. I think Alex Smith lost 1 game. I think he went, if I'm not mistaken, 20-1, something with the 49ers when he was there, 19-1. Got hurt, sat down 6-7 game. Nigga said, nah, we good. We got this curly-headed black nigga who he aight right here. You know what I'm saying? We gonna fuck with him. Alex Smith sat down ever since then. Then got shipped to Kansas City. Same shit, starting quarterback. Then they drafted who? Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, we got this curly-headed, light-skinned black nigga again. We gonna need you to go Washington, wherever the fuck you want to go. And because of injury, not necessarily with Patrick Mahomes, but with Colin Kaepernick, you lose your job sometime. And even though they gave Brock Purdy that money, and I think he's the quarterback of their future, what do you do in this scenario? And that was something that I said on the first take.
Yeah.
What I said on the first take was exactly like, look, it's the big disparity between starters and backups. This is not the case in this situation, where you have a backup quarterback taking full advantage of the opportunity that he's given, now to where somebody like Cam is questioning, so y'all gonna put Brock Purdy back in when he's ready? Because to me, Brock Purdy is not gonna be ready for a little minute, but Brock Purdy knows this is how he got his job. He got his job, Garoppolo and them niggas being hurt. So he's panicking in my brain if I'm Cam looking at it, because he shouldn't have came back. Even when he came back, he's out. But he said, Mac Jones looking too good. Let me get the fuck out there, and got hurt again. So in the NFL, it's about continuity, chemistry, and I don't think they're getting rid of Brock Purdy. But if shit goes right, they may sit a nigga down for the season. 342 yards, 3 wins as a backup quarterback. Good job, Mac Jones. I got to give you a lot of credit because we're sitting here seeing other backup quarterbacks not living up to expectation. So the question is, Kyle Shanahan, what are you going to do if Brock Purdy comes back healthy?
And not just the three touchdowns. Is you got to think about even every quarter he got them in position to score. So sometimes it's not even just the score. It's can you get the team in position for them to get the field goals, which is how they won.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2.
Okay, y'all. So now the weather is changing. Things are moving. Basketball is cooking up. And is LeBron retiring? We will discuss after the break.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. What's stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free. Why am I here? This woman wanna be free. Hell, I don't wanna see her walk away. I wish somebody told me the rules. Disagreements let her win, and it's cool. Even when I'm right, this ain't about you.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. So we're actually going to do NBA preseason, starting with the Timberwolves versus Pacers game tonight. Underdog has Rob Dillingham at 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Mase?
Lower.
I'm going low as well.
Yeah, that's kind of high.
15.5 preseason?
May not be.
Never know. Okay. Andrew Nembhard is at 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
How many?
13.5.
Depending on the minutes. See, that's the whole thing. That's why underdog. It's like the whole thing is preseason, so you don't really know how many minutes everybody's going to get. I'm going to assume that he'll be in there enough time.
13.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, I'm going higher.
Okay. And lastly, Pascal Siakam is at 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists as well. Higher, Mase?
Higher. Even if he's playing limited minutes, I think he's going to come back on a tear from last year.
I'm going to go lower. I don't think he's going to play that much to do all that. And I don't think he's going to exert that much energy because they know how much they need him for the regular season.
Okay. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So we're actually going to start with Russell Westbrook. So this was the first NBA Media Day since 2007 without him being included. So just thinking about it and where Westbrook has been and then just seeing all the new signs that we've seen across the league in general, Mase, why do you think Russell Westbrook is still unsigned?
When it comes to Russell Westbrook, I think there's a bunch of teams that could use his energy, that could use his personnel, his skill set. Everything about Russell Westbrook is like class act. But when it comes to teams, I think it's one of those things that even Killa spoke about it quite some time ago. But when he was talking, I think, about Carmelo. And when it's like when a person is of such a status, they don't fit everywhere. Even though he can't, it's not that he can't make a team. It's, do you really want to put Russell Westbrook as like the backup to the backup or something like that? Because he may feel, disrespected and disgruntled when really it's not that he can't play, but people are trying to develop their team for the future. So one of those type of situations, I think that may play against him making a roster, but he can make any roster. I think there's not a team in the NBA that Russell Westbrook could not make, even if he came off the bench as not the sixth man, let's say maybe the seventh man or the eighth man. As the eighth man, he would make a real difference on the team. But, I think that's the real reason why he's not signed, because if he's not playing and he doesn't get minutes, he could be such a fan favorite that it causes turmoil in the locker room and on the team.
I agree 100%. I think that's the problem, is that we see, and shout out to Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up because he doesn't cheat the game. He's a nigga that's coming to play 120% every night, whether he's the superstar, whether he's second string, whether he has to come off the bench, whatever he needs to do. We see him do this over the course of his career and at every level, because he's a league MVP. He's been the second option. He's been the person that comes off the bench. We've seen this, and he's been in every scenario. And to Mace's point, which I totally agree with, if you don't have him in a major role because of the standard we hold Russell Westbrook up to, it's going to look like, damn, when you're a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21, 22, 3-year-old kid coming to a team and you may be starting and Russell Westbrook isn't, you like, damn, I looked up to Russ. And Russ may still be better than you. It's just that it doesn't fit for this particular team. And I think that he's landed on so many different teams that GMs are saying, it doesn't matter where he goes, it's not working. And I would sign Russell Westbrook today if I had a team.
That's a good point, though, Killa.
Yeah, and I would sign him today. But what I'm saying is we've seen him in every capacity that you could see somebody in the NBA. Superstar, mid-level star, off the bench. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll volunteer to come off the bench when he's with the Clippers, but nobody can figure out who's going to come off the bench.
Yeah.
We've seen him go with the Denver Nuggets. We've seen him with James Harden again. It didn't work. Matter of fact, let's see. Russell was, and then we seen him with Bradley Beal in Houston. You know, we all know his outstanding career that he had for 11 years in Oklahoma. Then he goes to Houston. Then he goes to Washington. Then he goes to the Lakers. Then he goes to the Clippers. Then he goes to Denver. And it just doesn't work out. Now you think about all the players that we playing with. I'm sitting here looking at Oklahoma City Thunder. You're playing with Kevin Durant and you're playing with James Harden. You think about Houston. You're playing with James Harden. You think about Washington playing with Bradley Beal. You think about the Lakers playing with LeBron James. You think about the Clippers. You're playing with James Harden again. And I don't know how much Kawhi played that year, and how much he had, or how much time he's getting. Because, you know, Kawhi, he plays whenever the fuck he wants to play. But you're playing with James Harden and potentially Kawhi that year. You go last year, you go with the Nuggets. You sit there and say, damn, you're playing with the Joker and Jamal Murray. Who's it going to fit with? Pause. Who's it going to work with? You play with a lot of good people. And this is what GMs are probably looking at. Yeah. Is it going to work here? And I wish it did, man. I'm a big fan.
And I know why he's really not signed. Stat to your question. He's not signed because he waived his play option. That's why you're not playing. You thought the grass was going to be greener somewhere else, and the grass never turned green.
So now that you say that, do you guys, I'm asking both of you guys this, do you feel like he shouldn't have done that?
No, I mean, remember I tell you, you can always tell what was the decision right by how it turns out. You know, when he waived the player option, he probably thought he could get more money somewhere else, or that another team was going to take him, and now it just seemed like that's not coming around. And I hate to see Russ playing in China or somewhere like that. I don't want that for
him. Should he have waived his player option? I don't know, but Mase is correct about that. He might have thought, when you waive your play option,
you think you got a bag coming.
You think somebody else actually might want you. But then again, you got to think about it. Maybe he wasn't happy in Denver. And Russ made a shitload of money over the years. It ain't like he's starving for no money. You know, we see him take a pay cut just to be in certain places. So it isn't like he needs money. But maybe he wasn't happy in Denver. But I do agree with Mase when he says waive the player option. Because you think somebody pick him up, and maybe somebody will during the middle of the season. Hopefully they do. But at the end of the day, I do agree. If you waived your play option, you thought somebody else was going to pick you up, or you just didn't want to be in Denver.
Do you think he could have just said, you know what, sign me and trade me somewhere else?
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah. He waived the option thinking he had something else.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if someone picks him up. So moving along, the Warriors had a little bit of roster changes. So free agent Al Horford has committed to a multi-year deal with the Warriors, and the Warriors also signed Seth Curry. So Mase, do you like these additions to the team?
No. I don't think it makes a difference, obviously. When it comes to this West Coast, the West is so loaded. I mean, the only way this makes a difference is if Seth Curry comes in firing on all cylinders, making 80% of his threes. Then this becomes a valuable scenario. I think when you put two brothers on the team, it's imperative that they win. In fact, there's more pressure on them to win because everybody's like, yo, you got your brother on the team, right? So when you look at the West, you look at Houston coming stronger, than they've ever been. Then you got OKC coming back. I don't see how two small guards are gonna work in the West Coast. And I'm a big Stephen Curry fan and love the Curry family, but the West is too big, when it comes to guards, to be playing two small guards under 6'4". That's just not gonna work.
I think that the West is super duper loaded, and I don't think that these trades really make a difference for Golden State. I think the two players that's going to be imperative is not the core players that's been there. It's Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield. Mm-hmm. I'm not really worried about with Seth Curry being there and Al Horford. Al Horford's a dog, so, you know, even though he's getting older, he works. Seth Curry just signed him to sign him. I'm not saying he's Giannis' brother, but whatever. It's Jimmy Butler and it's Buddy Hield. Those are the two people that are going to determine how far Golden State goes. We know what Draymond brings to the table. We know what Steph Curry brings to the table. Jimmy Butler started off good with that trade last year. Little injuries here and there, knicks-knacks, so on and so forth. And he played good, but then to me, he was downplaying his game to fit in. And you got to pause, and you got to do that when you're part of a championship team. You're saying, okay, cool. I don't want to come here and disrupt what's going on. No, we brought you here to be that third person, or maybe first person some nights, first or second option, to take us to where we need to go. Buddy Hield, he's a streaky player. He's one of these niggas that could be 8 for 8 from 3 or 1 for 27 from the field. And if he's hot, he's hot. So to me, I'm not saying Golden State is going to go too far, but if they want to go anywhere, it's going to be Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler. I'm not really worried about Al Horford and Seth Curry. Seth Curry is more, we know what Draymond's going to do. We know what Steph's going to do. Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler. Not only that, I want to see if Kuminga worked on anything in offseason. He got re-signed, 2-year extension, very athletic, super duper young. If he ever got his skill set together and stopped basing everything off his athleticism, he could be very, very dangerous. So to me, Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, Buddy Hield, more than Seth Curry and Al Horford. We'll see what happens. But to Mace's point, the West is loaded, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, that team is just too old right now.
You think they're too old?
Yeah.
Okay. So also on the West, because I guess this would be the younger team. So the Pelicans have a little bit of a newer look with a skinnier Zion, Jordan Poole, and a returning DeJounte Murray, even though we don't know exactly the timetable where he should return after having surgery earlier in the year. But how do you think this team will be going into the season?
I really like this team. I really like it from the aspect of if you get DeJounte Murray back. I think if he's healthy, this is a really dangerous team. Not that they'll win it or anything like that, but I think they're a team that you might not want to play if Zion is playing well. And it's a lot of ifs, because that's all they have there is ifs, but the potential there to be great is right there. You know, if they get one more piece, I'm not sure if it's like a running big or somebody who could play outside or knock down shots, but around 6'10", 6'11", this could be a really, really dangerous team for the West, because we know that Zion could bully his way to a basket, but I'm not sure even with that how skinny he's got. I got to wait to see.
Yeah, I can't count. Like, every time I put a little bit of stake inside the Pelicans, Zion's not available. And I'm not going to count on him to be available now just because he's skinny. I can't count on Zion in the last 4 or 5 years, however long he's been in the NBA. When he shows me that he could play 80% of the games, then maybe I could put some stock into the Pelicans. Until then, I don't know. And the way that he was bullying people when he is healthy, are you going to be able to bully them with that frame that he has right now? You know, he's very, very skinny. A lot of that shit was predicated on his body, his mass, his muscle. And not saying he still can, and not saying he doesn't have inner strength, but you just don't know. I'm going to have to agree with Mason and say it's too many question marks. Even with Murray, big Murray fan, but he's not available, and it wasn't working out for him in Atlanta with Trae Young. I thought he was sensational. That would have been really great if he stayed in San Antonio. Imagine Murray right now in San Antonio with Fox, Wemby, and the Rookie of the Year. Listen, that would be great if he stuck around. Yeah. But I get it. You had to do what you had to do. But San Antonio would be a real threat with a healthy Murray, Aaron Fox, and Wemby. I think that would be really good. But, you know, shit didn't happen like that. But as far as me putting any stock into the Pelicans, just can't do it based on Zion.
Yeah, see, he kind of would have to have a whole new game as a skinny Zion. I'm not sure if I want to see that.
Why not?
No, I think he need to get, like, not stronger, but, you know, turning back it into muscles. Pause, because it is the whole back down game. He won't have that as a skinny person. I never saw nobody skinny just bullying their way to a basket.
Okay, fair. And then looking at the Suns, so we now know that they have Jalen Green, Devin Booker, and Dillon Brooks, and we know that KD was traded to the Rockets. So how confident in the Suns are you?
Not at all. I'm not. What are we expecting from this? Like, Stat, you asking me these questions today. I don't know how you came up with them, but what am I supposed to expect from Jalen Green and
Dylan
Dylan
Brooks?
Brooks? What am I supposed to expect? I expect Book to go back to being Book. Maybe that's what they're trying to create here. They're trying to create this environment where Book can be the player that he once was before KD and all of them got there. And I see him going back to getting 30 and 40. I think if Jalen Green brings his game, they could be a decent team, but I don't see it going any further than that. It's just something about Phoenix. I love the city, love the weather, but I just don't see them winning anything.
I agree. I think that we've seen what Jalen Green did in the playoffs last year, and that's the reason he's in Phoenix now. You know, Jalen Green was one of these players that we possibly could have thought would be a franchise player for the Houston Rockets. He was getting the commercials, he's getting the interviews, he's getting followed around worrying about who he's fucking and everything else. When you're not popping, they don't care who you fucking. You know what I'm saying? They don't care who you with. And not only that, the bad bitches or the baddies or the whatever influencers, reality TV, they don't want you neither. They don't want no bum ass nigga on the bench. You was about to be that nigga, and what you did in the playoffs dwindled all your credibility as far as what you could do in the playoffs. Will you get that back? I'm not sure. But I do agree with what Mase said. That was what I was going to say. This just looks like a scenario where Devin Booker is going to be able to be Devin Booker again. I think Devin Booker, because we was looking at him in like a next Kobe Bryant, one of those type players. And when Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant got there, I think that he was trying to cater to them, not in a bad way, trying to fit in chemistry so they could all potentially win a championship. And it just didn't work out. So I think Booker go back to being Booker, like Mase said, where we might see these 40-point games, these 50-point games from him. You know, Devin Booker scored 70. A lot of niggas don't remember that. 70 points, that's not easy to do. I think we'll see that Devin Booker this season.
Okay, so the reason I ask these questions, and I know they might seem basic just hearing them off the cusp, but you guys talked about a lot of different things that you like or dislike from these teams. So starting with the Warriors, Mase, you said they have a little bit of an older team. You guys both said you don't really know how you feel about Zion's size. You said a skinnier Zion may change him. And then we look at the Suns. They've made some additions. You got somebody like Jalen Green who, you know, went through some things, but they've also made additions to make their team younger. So just in general, for both of you, what do you think are important factors that a team needs to be solid? Like, what are some of those characteristics and things?
To start, you got to be able to defend. I think people put a low value on defense. All year you hear people saying, "Oh, Jalen Brunson is this." Then you hear, who else was going crazy last year? It's just so many players that be going crazy offensively, but when it boils down to championships are won with defense. They're always won with defense. Is when it comes to that place where two teams are desiring to win that game and somebody says, you know what, you're not scoring. And the first team that does that always seem like the team that's going to win, because these are the teams that don't end up losing back-to-back games. That's another thing you look for in championship teams. Like, you're able to adjust. When you take a loss, you correct things right away. You never run into 2 games lost, and it's the first team that can win on the road. So these are things that I look for. Teams that can win on the road, teams that don't lose back-to-back games, they make corrections quickly, and teams that are willing to defend. Because you're going to find buckets. When in the NBA, there's so many players that can make buckets, but it's, can you stop somebody else? Because if I score 20 points but you got 25, then it doesn't matter. I got 20.
Yeah, listen, if you think about it, Mase is 100% correct. You look at any team that won a championship in the last, I don't know how many years, and I don't have to stat, I didn't Google it, but I just remember off the top of my head, Golden State. And even if we think about OKC last year was ranked number 1 in defense. And I'm pretty sure any team that won the championship in the last 5 years is definitely ranked in the top 5 in defense. Defense absolutely matters. Not only that, to me, you have to have a solidified person that you could go to. When things are getting rough and everybody's down, we'll give that person the ball, or not just one person, Two people. You think about this, right? Of course, we know Shea gets. We'll just go off the defending champs because they just won. You think about this. We know what Shea's going to do, but what if he has an off night? Chet may step up. Not only that, you have a decent two people off the bench. You got Dort coming off the bench. You got Caruso coming off the bench, and you have a three-headed monster with their offense. But defense is. Mason hit the nail on that. It cannot be undersold. Even when Golden State was winning their championships, their defense was #1 in the league, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, y'all going to check, but I remember it's at least top 5. It matters. But also besides that, when times get rough, who can we give the ball to and get us a basket when it counts? Because sometimes people go cold. And when you go cold, you have to have somebody who can get us some baskets. But I think OKC, and that's why they paid everybody, such a fucking well-rounded team from top to bottom, you can't really go wrong. And I think they're going to be in control for some time to come.
Okay. So now, go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking about Williams. Williams is another option on that team that when Shea is not going, Williams kind of won that series too. Won a game in that series.
Shout out J-Dub. Okay, so we started talking about this a couple episodes ago, but we do have an update basically on Trae Young's response because Trae Young and Pat Bev were going back and forth for quite a little bit on social media. So basically, Pat Bev said Trae hasn't won enough to speak on him. Trae responded saying Pat played with big time guys. So basically, he explained this in like a couple minutes of a YouTube video. So he said Pat played with big time guys, including LeBron, Giannis, Ant, Kawhi, and Harden, yet only made one conference finals. He said, I win playing games on the road and I'm ready to get to the playoffs. You win playing games at home and you standing on the scorer's table acting like it's a championship. I know you were labeled as a tough defender, a great defender, and the accolades say that you were, but I promise you, anytime you was on the court with me, I was never scared of you. I was never scared of Patty Bev. So Mase, what do you think about what Trae Young had to say to Pat Bev?
I don't see why Trae Young is even talking about Pat Bev. This is not a conversation he should be entertaining. I know I wouldn't entertain it. I know Killa wouldn't entertain. It's some people don't merit a response, man. It's like I just don't know how else to say it. Like Trae Young is up here, Pat Bev is not even in the league. Like, so why is he even talking to him? Doesn't he play in like Turkey somewhere?
Yeah.
So how does he? Turkey is a different time zone. There's no way he should even be arguing. We should be asleep when Pat Bev is up. So I don't even know how niggas is even arguing. You got to go to sleep and wake back up to find out what he said. This is just ridiculous. We got to stop being distracted, man. You know, it's like people are watching a Diddy sentencing and the government shut down. We got to get focused, man.
I was trying to see where Pat Bev play at. I forget.
Tel Aviv.
That's where he play at?
Where he play at?
The Tel Aviv thing.
Israel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, he playing in Pakistan, man.
Yeah, listen, man. It's funny because the way Stat read it is correct, but if you watch the video, Trae Young getting up in the middle of the video, walking off, I'm like, why am I even doing this? I thought Trae Young's response was fabulous, man. You know, as somebody who's trying not to respond to people and trying to grow and be better, like Mase said. See, Mase got the shit where he just doesn't respond. Me, I'm getting there. I'm learning. I've been around him. I can't ignore everybody because sometimes it's just too easy to ragdoll niggas. Pause. So it'd be like, nah, I'm gonna give nigga 2 minutes of my time, so I get it. Mase has mastered ignoring people. I'm not there yet, so I get where you coming from, Trae Young. And Trae Young, listen, man, I think we're going to end the show after everything. We're going to show some of Trae Young's response because it's hilarious. He gets up and walks off. He's like, yo, why am I even? It's like he talking to somebody like, yo, what are we talking about? Why am I doing this? The fuck? Because he reading Pat Bev's stats and he like, yo, what are we doing this for? The way he did it, it was like somebody set up the camera from him and gave him Pat Bev's stats and was like, nah, just do this. I'm telling you. And he's just looking at him, reading him like, for what? This nigga's bugging. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very entertaining. But I get where Mase is coming from, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're like 10. I looked it up. They're 10 hours ahead they're 10 hours ahead. So, wow, who got time to be 10 hours ahead of somebody talking about them? Then you got to wait for them to get up. It's like, come on, man. What are you doing, bro?
So that's a good point. And I do agree. Trae Young had a great response. So I actually have one more question for both of y'all.
But it makes a good argument because by the time you say something, I'm asleep, so I wake up to it. I respond to you, and then you wake up, and then you respond to it. It could really go a long time. Pause.
He said what he needed to say. But I want to ask both of y'all this because y'all do handle things differently. So in real life, because, Trae Young did what worked for him, when do you decide if someone does merit a response versus doesn't?
That's good. See, because they got this thing on the internet. People just connect their names with yours. And I've been paying attention to that. I'm new to the internet, right? So I'm learning stuff about it. I'm looking into things. I'm learning that people would just say your name to put your name with theirs. And I look at pictures. I'm like, why is he saying my name? I was too emotional about it. I had to step back and say, you know what? He's doing what he's supposed to do. Put his name to the fastest things moving. If your name is moving, connect it with that. And when you think about what do I look at and say this merits a response, number one, it has to be a person on your tier. If they're not on your tier, you should not respond. There's no reason to respond. If you're here and they're here, you just don't hear them. I don't know how the volume reaches that point, but that's how I look at it. If they're not on your tier or not in your class, then you shouldn't be responding to them. Certain people, and we're not talking about who you used to be. We're talking about right now in 2025. If they're not on the same class you're on, you're kind of wasting your time.
I think that's a great way. Me, I'm just not sophisticated like that. And that's
I'm like KD. I'll be seeing KD answer everything.
Nah, you right though. To be honest with you, because sometimes this is what I do. I swear to God, this is me. I'll be like, I think that way. And I'll be like, well, and then I'll be in the middle of the night and be like, nah.
Nah, the nigga went too far.
Yeah, and I'll be like, nah, I'm going to do a little something.
You going to say something. What I say, Killa, is that over the years, I've seen niggas pause, get it back from somebody else, so I know I can let this one slide because he going to run into somebody.
What you saying is right because, listen, especially now, this shit is the Wild Wild West. Niggas just say your name and then so you can get some traction and then go on for however long. And then you be like, all right, cool. And then they still say your name. You know how many niggas head I live in rent-free? I live in niggas head rent-free because I don't be giving niggas no time. And then when niggas send me shit, I'm like, this nigga still talking about me? Yo.
What does it mean to live in somebody's head rent-free? Pause.
When they always thinking about you. And you don't know why they thinking about you. Like, that's what it means, like, yo.
Oh, then I'm really living.
Yeah, like my nigga. I'll see some shit because niggas will send me some shit and you be like, what is he still talking? It's been 4 years. Why am I still in the nigga brain, pause, after this long? You see an interview, niggas be saying my name, and you be like, I'm still, yo, bro, I stopped paying you mine, I don't know how long ago, but you still thinking about me. Mm-hmm. And that's like to your point. That's where I get to your point. I'll be like, it won't stop with you. I get to your point like, it won't ever stop with you. You need this pause to keep whatever you got going on in your brain. And party by yourself. Have fun and fight by yourself. That's when I get to that point. But then back to me, I waited 3-4 months and I may do something and it's not about them, but they'll think it's about them.
Yeah.
It's a little all over the place for me, but your answer, I believe, is 100% correct. If you're not here and you're here, it's no reason for you to even respond because a lot of times niggas try to bait you. I told a nigga about that, I swear to God, 3 days ago, I told me and somebody was talking about, I said, I just want to get where Murder's at, because Murder laugh at everything. I show Murder shit, he like, what? They say, what? And he just start laughing. He pays nobody no mind. So I swear to everything I love. 3 days ago, I was telling Sim, matter of fact, I said, nothing bothers this nigga. You can talk about this nigga wherever. It's nothing that's going to bother him. As far as niggas talking on the internet is concerned, he pays it no mind.
Yeah, I grew up with government cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
Powdered milk.
Yeah, so.
You know, canned food.
Yeah.
Is nothing you could do to break me.
Yeah, I told nigga that nothing. I showed Murder some niggas talking shit. This nigga died, started crying hysterically, laughing. There's nothing that bothers him when niggas talk about Mase. He really does not care. You're wasting time, and then you're not going to really get a response. And he just told you why.
Oh, well, good advice, y'all. We gotta take a play out of that book because it's good. But also, I'm also with Cam. Sometimes you want to say something because people be trying it.
Yeah.
You know what government cheese is? Oh. Do your homework.
You gonna explain?
It's like a box of cheese that comes like this. You ever had it?
Mm-mm.
You had government cheese, Killa?
Mel King kicked you out the house. Mel King kicked you out the house for cutting off the bad part of the cheese. You know damn well some of it would go bad. Mase tried to chop off the bad part of the nigga house, and the nigga kicked him out. He told Mase, get out in the cold, because Mase cut the cheese. Now you gotta understand, some piece of the cheese that went bad. Nigga Mase. And they got so mad. He said, why you throwing my cheese away? Yeah, Mase. We was in Mel King house with the cheese.
Yeah, because her mother made the best burgers, so
yeah,
I try to go over there and make a burger myself. Yeah. But he had the cheese. The back part was old, so I tried to cut around it. And he wanted me to start from the back of the cheese. So I went behind his back and tried to take a cut. And nigga, I think Killa told on me. One of them niggas on Zig. It was somebody that told on me.
It was Douglas, one of them niggas.
Yeah, I said, yo, how does he know I'm over here? And then the next thing I know, nigga walking me to the elevator. Yo, you got to go.
Mel King was the original Martin. He was kicking niggas out for no reason. Yeah. If you say anything, he kick you out the crib, yo.
Yeah, he would say, I'm fixing this house. This nigga Mase always coming here trying to change stuff. Things. Yeah.
Definitely need more stories for y'all.
But the point being is, I don't know if your parents had government cheese. It seemed like they had lived a good life too.
I don't know. They was asking me yesterday. They were like, have you ever had a struggle meal? I was like, I don't know.
Listen, first of all, we downplaying. There used to be a line outside for it. For the free cheese. People be waiting outside in a line to get the government cheese. Because that's how much niggas like cheese. It was free. You'd be outside and get free cheese.
So technically you were wasting it.
Yeah, that's what he thought.
Oh,
but it was bad. Like,
but he left it out, so the back part of the cheese was like pros. It was super hard.
Yeah.
So he was like, nah, we can't.
You can't do nothing with it anyway, but he took it upon himself to do it. And Mel King might have, you don't know Mel King. First of all, he might have thought that that ain't your place to do it.
He would always be like, that nigga Mase is disrespectful.
Yeah, like he one of them niggas, like if anybody gonna cut the back part of the cheese off, it's gonna, no guy could have ate it anyway. But he was one of them my house niggas.
Yeah.
Touching it. Well, I told y'all I learn something new every single day, so that's a new one for me. But that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.